Irish guy and Liverpool fans, are you nervous? You should be. Because Liverpool cannot bottom the league now. They just can't. They simply cannot, because this would be game over. Lights out for you. Let's get it right, okay? The Reds are 8 points clear at the top of the league, and they welcome Manchester City to Anfield at the weekend. I mean, people have been saying that this is a gargantuan rockstar week because the club face both Real Madrid and Manchester City. No, sorry lads, this isn't like 15 years ago when Liverpool played both Real Madrid in the Champions League and then Manchester United in the title race. Weirdly, they won both games 4-0 and 4-1. Still didn't win a sausage that year. But no, this isn't like that. Don't let people try and trick you into thinking that tonight's game is a massive match. Nah, it's really not. Because Liverpool have been perfect in the Champions League so far, then lads, Arne Slot can afford to chuck out the under-18s and get walloped 7-0. It doesn't matter. This isn't a knockout match. In this weird, freakish, modern Champions League format, which looks suspiciously like the Super League, finishing first is practically the same as finishing 7th. You're both through to the last 16, it's fine. So honestly, it would be utterly stupid of Liverpool to let their egos get in the way and for the players to run themselves into the floor trying to prove that they're Europe's best team by smashing Real Madrid. No, I'm sorry, Slot needs to be clever and chuck the kiddies onto the pitch. Let the likes of James McConnell, Tom Hill and Maynard Figueroa's son share the pitch with Bellingham and Modric. I am telling you, this Real Madrid match matters about as much as any episode in season 6 of Lost. Yeah, it's been 14 years since that season finale and I'm still choking on spoonfuls of Frosties whenever I remember the incessant plot holes. Lads, the pressure is huge at Liverpool right now, and things are not helped by the constant uncertainties around Mo Salah, Virgil van Dijk and Trent Alexander-Arnold. And if the Reds collapse in embarrassing fashion after Christmas, I can see exits, like when Luis Suarez quit in 2014, and then even Gerrard was too heartbroken to stay. Lads, it is obvious that Salah wants to stay at Anfield, but the Liverpool hierarchy are not too keen on continuing to pay him £18 million a year. I mean, he's currently on a mouthwater of £350,000 a week. So choosing to pay that same wage for a man who turns 33 in June, I get it. I absolutely get why they are hesitant, but Salah is going to be no ordinary 33-year-old. Have you seen the bloke's condition? The man looks like not only has he not even sniffed a slice of chocolate cake in decades, but he probably also eats wild boar for tea. The guy can probably bench press his mum. He is in phenomenal shape for a 32-year-old man. He looks like the Egyptian Wolverine. So, Liverpool owners should not actually be terrified of his age. He's going to be a Ronaldo type of 33, who is absolutely worth the wages. I mean, come on, Cristiano Ronaldo, when he was 33 years old, he was still commanding a £99 million move to Juventus, where he was paid a pretty stupid £900,000 a week. So renewing Salah's contract for another 2 years, it makes perfect sense. He is still a £350,000 a week footballer. I mean, come on. The guy is on the same wage as Casemiro, that plump turkey who was at Manchester United. It looks like he eats nothing but donuts for tea. That is a contract that owners should be scared of, because he doesn't have a Ronaldo physique. He is someone who you just know when he's 42 and now playing in Soccer Raid, he will need someone to peel him off the couch. I mean, when Casemiro no longer has constant exercise in his life, he is going to look like if someone deflated the Hulk. Jamie Carragher has called Salah's outburst as selfish. Interesting how Kevin De Bruyne is in the exact same predicament and said the exact same thing yesterday.
Talks will come. If no talks come, it will be my last year.
That is exactly the same thing Salah said, that he's more out than he is in, because obviously, if there is no contract on the table, you were obviously closer to being gone. It's not that Salah is saying he's sick of Liverpool, that he's decided that the city actually smells of fish. He's not demanding an exit to Barcelona. No, this man is actually the ultimate professional. Lads, I will always maintain that Luis Suarez was a better player than Salah, yes, but he was an ugly pro. Guys, well, his list of misdemeanors in a Liverpool shirt are so extensive and vast that him refusing to train to force to remove to Arsenal, yes, Arsenal, that looks mild in comparison to everything else. I mean, he used to eat people. Huh? But Salah, there's nothing wrong with letting the world know he hasn't been offered a deal. De Bruyne is a fabulously unbelievable player, but he's been hinting at quitting City for years. He was publicly asking Vincent Kompany to bring him to Anderlecht 5 years ago.
I hope his career will be just as amazing at Anderlecht as it was at City. I've told him to keep a place in his team for me in a year or 7 when I'm finished here.
Did Kevin really think his old buddy would be Anderlecht boss for 7 years? Did he really think that Vincent Kompany had the ambition of muddy toilet water? Anyone reckon De Bruyne wants to keep that promise and join Anderlecht this summer? Now that they're being coached by some 36-year-old nerd called David Hubert? Nope. Look, City are the club who should be nervous about renewing KDB's deal. I mean, he is the highest paid player in the league on £400,000, and yet he has become massively injury prone. He has developed the hamstrings of Michael Owen because those pesky leg muscles have forced him to miss 38 Man City matches since the start of last season alone. He should absolutely be cut adrift. An amazing footballer, yes, but like Salah, his birthday is also in June, and he turns 34. Let De Bruyne go and follow company to Bayern Munich on a free, or soak up the riches in the Saudi Pro League, sure. But yes, he is somebody who City should thank and kiss goodbye after 9 glorious years. But his time is up. You can't continue to pay him £400,000 a week. No chance. Go and replace him with Florian Wirtz or Xavi Simons, and let this moldy gingerbread man leave. But Salah, he is absolutely still worth the juice. Lads, I'm going to ask Liverpool fans a question and think long and hard about the answer. What was the most pivotal match in your club's Premier League history? Yes, I realize I sound like a stuffy school teacher. You know, the type of middle-aged creep with a mustache who you just know goes home to kiss his hamster at night. But the answer is 10th of November 2019. Liverpool versus Manchester City at Anfield. I mean, the Reds have begun that season almost flawlessly, winning 11 of the first 12 matches. They were 6 points clear of Man City, who'd already lost to Norwich and Wolves. Beating City would put them 9. Yes, 9 points clear. I mean, to be fair, everyone forgets this, but the previous Christmas, Man City were actually 10 points behind after Liverpool thumped Arsenal 5-1 in December to cause the cast members of AFTV to no doubt patrol their local Tesco's looking to beat up random Santas. I mean, to be fair, City won their game in hand to close the gap to 7 points. But still, Jurgen Klopp had a 7-point lead over Pep Guardiola after 20 Premier League matches 6 years ago. We always remember that season being a ridiculously brilliant title race. But really, Liverpool blew it. I mean, it is harsh because the Reds were up against an impossibly world-class freak of a team that season, but they did bottle it. A little bit. But in the November of 2019, Liverpool were angry and blew City out of the water, going 2-0 up after 13 minutes. They were 3-0 up 5 minutes after half-time. Title race done? That was the only time we had seen Guardiola practically surrender the title. I mean, they weren't the same after that. Christ above. How does a team win by 5 or more goals in 7 different Premier League matches and yet still finish a mind-blowing 18 points off first? How does a team score 102 goals in a Premier League season and yet lose 9 times? That City season was weird, but the title race felt over after Liverpool went 9 points clear after they stomped them out in November. But this is going to be even more insurmountable because it was 9 points then. Now, it could be 11. Yes, 11 this weekend. Make no mistake about it. If Liverpool don't win the league from this position, then it will be a complete another bottle job. Can you imagine? Can you imagine Liverpool didn't bounce back to win the league in 2020? Then I promise you that 2018-2019 season would be seen as a massive missed opportunity. That would be seen on par in bottle job terms with the Steven Gerrard slip. I mean, come on, can you imagine Liverpool were still waiting for their first Premier League title now? Everybody would be screaming the Klopp blew it after being given a 7-point lead. But no, because Liverpool bounced back to win the league a year later, everybody forgets that. But lads, Liverpool versus Man City this Sunday to potentially wipe out the title race. Is this 2019 again? I mean, should I suddenly start preparing to spend the next 6 months of my life making conversation with my lamp? But this whole thing feels like deja vu. If Liverpool win 3-1 on Sunday, then oh boy, it will feel so 2019, it will hurt. But lads, Man City have very few rubbish seasons. This is their third on Guardiola's watch, where their standards have been poor. I mean, his debut campaign was bad. I mean, 78 points and third. They were just 1 more defeat away from finishing 5th. It seems mental to think that Pep's Man City once finished below Spurs. I know, that seems crazy to wrap your head around. It's a bit like trying to imagine what aliens must eat on the moon. I mean, they lost 4-0 twice to Barcelona and Everton. Huh? Their second poor season was the 19-20 campaign, where they collected just 81 points, and this is their third one. Yeah, Guardiola doesn't put bad seasons back to back, and so this is it. This is the time to capitalize and nick a title off City. Because if you don't, if you crumble to let this shadow of a City team back into the title race without a DM, you will massively regret it. City next season are probably going to be perfect. I mean, come on, for those of you who think they'll be playing championship football next season, obviously not. Lads, people think that Guardiola extending his deal for 2 years was risky business and proof that he's willing to stay with them if they are kicked into the lower leagues by a judge. No, that is complete and utter pig manure. Look, if City were to be chucked into the championship and there was no appeal system in this fairy tale land, I think they would still have a top manager in charge for Sunderland away. I mean, surely it wouldn't be Pep. It would be like when the Italian champions Juventus were demoted to Serie B in 2006. I mean, did they have to have a second tier level boss in charge? No, they were still able to appoint a future world champion coach, Didier Deschamps, somebody who 2 years earlier was managing Monaco in a Champions League final. He lost that game to
You know who?
But yeah, Juve had to watch their serial winning boss Fabio Capello depart for Real Madrid. But despite being disgraced, the sheer size of the club meant they were still able to hire a guy who was so far above the level of the rest of the Serie B bosses. And they ate the league with a spoon, comfortably beating Napoli to the title. Yes, Napoli and Juventus in a Serie B title race? What? Yeah, that's like seeing two princes fighting over the last empty yogurt pot on an alleyway behind a pizza shop. Although actually, I said Deschamps was like a king amongst rodents in the Serie B manager dugouts that season, but maybe not, because the Genoa boss was Gianpiero Gasparini and the Arezzo boss Antonio Conte. Both guys arguably better managers than Deschamps, but you get my point. If City were instantly demoted with no appeal, then Pep would be gone. But City would still get a quality boss instead. Not elite, no, but someone still far above the level of the championship. Someone like Marco Rose. But no, Liverpool still need to seize the title and win it. Now. Don't wait for next year. Now. Do you know what it would do for the psyche of this club if they were to crumble and wilt now? I mean, don't forget, this club has still never tasted a Premier League trophy parade outdoors. The fans haven't been allowed to celebrate the 2020 title yet. So if they were to crumble now, it would be unforgivable. I mean, Christ, look at Newcastle United in the mid-90s. They had a 12-point lead over Manchester United in the Christmas of 1995. I mean, don't forget, they began that season with 9 wins from the first 10 league games. And Manchester United went on to have a horrendous Christmas, going 5 games without a win. I'm sorry, but can we just stare at that league table for a minute now? Sitting pretty in first. I'm sorry, okay, I'm sorry. I've just never seen that before. It's like staring directly at the sun. It's like watching a mermaid kissing a unicorn. Because I've only ever seen Newcastle United top the Premier League once. Weirdly, under Big Sam, after game week 1 in August 2007. That was it. Top for a week. I wasn't watching them blow it in 1996, but honestly, look at all those defeats in the spring. There's more pink there than an episode of Peppa Pig. And it's relegation form. They wound up bottling the title and haven't been in a title race since. In fact, they've been relegated twice since then. To this day, Newcastle United have not recovered as a club from the title knelt down. And so if Arne Slot finishes second in May, on paper that would look like a fantastic debut season. Christ, well, I tipped them to finish second and the people looked at me as if I was an insane clown who eats dogs. But second, on paper, would be a brilliant season for a man in his debut season as a Premier League boss. But now, from this position, it would be a nightmare. And he would now be seen as the Dutch Brendan Rodgers. Another man whose Liverpool career never recovered from a title collapse. Honestly, the Reds were scintillating under Rodgers. I think that team he created in 2013-2014 was far better than the Rafa Benitez side to reach Champions League finals winning 1. Liverpool were amazing after Christmas. 11 league wins in a row. They had just beaten Man City themselves. This does not slip. All they needed to do was put their ego aside and play out a boring 0-0 draw at home with Chelsea. As a result, Mourinho had happily turned up to take. I mean, come on, in the very next match, Chelsea drew 0-0 at home with Norwich. Their 5th 0-0 of the season. Take the sensible draw instead of stupidly chasing the win, and then they would have beaten Crystal Palace with ease. I mean, they were 3-0 up at Sellers Park. The only reason they bottled that is because they kept chasing the goal difference, trying to win 5 or 6-0, leaving themselves open to counter-attacks. All they had to do was draw with Chelsea and Rodgers would have won the league. That man would be a Premier League champion, a Liverpool legend with a statue outside the ground. But no, because they crumbled in the title race, he's now just remembered as the guy who was chased out of town shortly after losing 6-1 at Stoke. Klopp absolutely made Rodgers forgettable. Just the goofy warm-up act who no one remembers. So Slot, he's in this uncomfortable position now where he has to win this title race. You cannot let this slip. And it doesn't help that this match against Man City is must win. The Reds must be ruthless and smoke them. Come on, this is Anfield, and I don't care that Man City are seen as the greatest Premier League side of all time. They haven't actually won a match at Anfield when there's been fans in the ground since before the last Lord of the Rings films was in the cinema. May 2003. The last time they won here in front of actual fans. I mean, I don't count the 4-1 win in 2021 because, again, it was like playing football in an actual shoe box. It's not exactly an intimidating Anfield atmosphere. When you can hear the referee cough, you can legitimately hear someone's ringtone if their phone went off on the bench. But I think that stat only compounds the pressure of the situation. Man City don't win at Anfield, so this should absolutely be a foregone conclusion. Liverpool should win, but if they don't, ouch. Honestly, lads, Liverpool have to win this weekend. They just have to. Anyway, that's it. But what do you think? Let me know in the comments. What do you think? Are Liverpool going to win the league this season? Let me know in the comments. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to go like, share, and subscribe as always. I'll talk to you in a while.